Hello, I'm Spencer Magnuson. I'm an add-on developer and one of the early adopters of extensions, which is one of Blender's latest features, which I'm excited to talk about today. My Light Painter add-on is one of the first add-on extensions to be on Blender's official extensions platform. Today, I'm going to share how you can turn your add-on into an add-on extension. I was going to present this at the Blender conference in Amsterdam, but unfortunately, I got sick. So instead of getting anyone else sick, I'm going to share my presentation here virtually, but safely. Let me first give an overview on what extensions are and how the extension standard is of benefit to add-ons, just so we're all on the same page. So let's talk about the add-on problem. Firstly, each add-on has to be manually downloaded and installed or updated. Some add-ons do have self-update mechanisms, but this isn't the case for all add-ons. Add-ons are spread all across the web. So that means users have to go to GitHub or Blender Market or some other self-hosted site to download their add-ons. Now, these two things aren't inherently painful problems. Most users are only managing a few add-ons at a time, so that usually doesn't become a problem painful enough for a solution. However, these problems compound with every update and with every add-on you want to use. A developer may script their add-on to install a specific library, but another add-on may come along and install a different version of that same library. This can lead to add-ons causing issues for other add-ons very easily. But this is not just about add-ons. Other Blender resources suffer the same problem one way or another. Themes, assets, and node tools also are spread across the internet and can become a pain to manage, find, and update. While I'm all for keeping these things separate for separation's sake, it'd be nice to be able to access and manage them easier once you do find them, because these resources extend Blender's capabilities. Wait a minute. Extend. Extensions! There we are. Extensions, that's the solution. But what are extensions? Extensions are resources that Blender users can subscribe to. Users can subscribe to extensions and from there be able to easily install or update their extensions with just a click of a button. Extensions can be either add-ons or themes at the time of this recording. So don't think of extensions as just add-ons or themes, because extensions is a standard that other resources may be able to adopt in the future. But like YouTube channels, extensions don't exist in a vacuum. With YouTube channels, they're all hosted on a single site, YouTube. In this case, extensions are all hosted on repositories. Repositories can be websites or folders on a hard drive. Once you connect to a repository, you can search, install, and update your add-ons without even leaving Blender. Like, isn't this nice? Recently, I was looking for a way to add ArchViz assets into my scene. Normally, I would leave Blender, go to a website, and just start searching for ArchViz assets or Asset Manager add-ons. But instead I searched for extensions in the official Blender repository, found an IKEA extension of all things, downloaded the add-on, gave it a try, and was able to add furniture to my scene. Not only was all this done in Blender, this was done in minutes. So, how does the extension standard benefit add-ons? Like I said, the experience of installing, downloading, and managing add-ons is now easier than ever. Repositories give studios the ability to manage and curate add-ons at scale, online or offline. There are also some benefits around security and standardization. Licenses are now mentioned and referenced in each extension's manifest file. So that means studios, upon looking at the add-on in Blender without even installing it, they're able to see what licenses they're signing up for. Each add-on's dependencies are now bundled with them, making each add-on portable and safer to use alongside other add-ons. Permissions are also defined in the extension manifest file, so that way you as a user can be able to see what things your add-on should or should not be doing, such as accessing files or using the internet. And my favorite, the Blender download is smaller, because all add-ons previously bundled with Blender are now in the official extensions platform, apart from a couple exceptions. For users like me who prize their disk space, this is a very welcome perk. And as for some benefits specific to add-on developers, the experience of building and sharing your add-on is now streamlined thanks to a few new command line commands that you can use for Blender to validate and build your add-on for you. Also, the bundling of libraries that I mentioned tends to lead to more stable behavior, less bugs, less reports from your customers where your add-on is not the problem. What about legacy add-ons? So yes, you can install and use add-ons as before. Scripted directories in Blender currently still support add-ons. If you get nothing from this video, please, add-ons are still add-ons. They're just adopting the extension standard. By doing this, add-ons can then access all the benefits that I just mentioned. Now the big question for all the add-on developers still watching. How do I make my add-on part of the extension standard? Let me go over the 4 main steps you need to do. Firstly, create and fill out the extension manifest. This file gives Blender all the info it needs to recognize your add-on as an extension. There is a manifest example in Blender's documentation, but honestly, just use the template that's already in Blender. Scroll to the scripting workspace, text editor, templates, Blender manifest. Fill out that manifest and save the file to your add-on folder. The ID is just the module name for your add-on. Version is the add-on version. Name, of course, is just name. Tagline is the description of your add-on. Maintainer is where you list your name and email address. Tags is the category. You can find the list of categories or tags here. Blender version min is the minimum supported version of Blender. For the extensions platform, this has to be 4.2. You can also set a max version. This is where you define the license. And this SBDX website is where you can find the identifier for your given license. Copyright if you need it. Supported platforms if that matters for you. Python wheels, which we'll get to in a second. Permissions, and then files to exclude in the final zip file. Fill out that manifest and save it to your add-ons folder. Now I say folder to emphasize that because with this new manifest, now you must have at least the manifest file and at least one Python file. That means add-on extensions are inherently multi-file add-ons. So make sure that you are renaming your single Python file to init.py. You can verify you filled out the manifest correctly by using the extension validate command. That's a brand new command line option for Blender. This will validate the manifest file and make sure that Blender can read it. Once you have saved this manifest file, you can delete BLinfo. If your add-on is installed as an extension, Blender will not look at it. You can keep it if you wish to retain backwards compatibility for when your add-on is not installed as an extension. Now for like 75% of add-ons, which is a totally made up percentage, but for most add-ons, this manifest is likely all you need to make your add-on part of the extension standard. I've converted several of my add-ons this year, and most of them only needed this file to work. But to be safe, there's 3 other things you should at least check for. Next, use relative imports. In Python, you can reference modules in 2 ways. Absolutely, with the full module path, or relative to your current module. So replace any absolute imports with relative ones. This was encouraged in prior Blender versions, but it's more encouraged now. And let me show you why. Because for add-on extensions, your add-on module is no longer at the first level anymore. I can no longer just type import InViewLite to reference my InViewLite package. The module path is now determined based on the repository the add-on extension is in. So it's BLEXT, standing for Blender External, dot, the name of the repository the add-on is in, dot the module name of the add-on. In short, you no longer have control over what this path is. Users and studios can put your extension into their own custom repository, which you don't know the name of. That is why relative imports are encouraged, so the developer doesn't have to worry about knowing the full module path. And as a bonus, I found it makes backwards compatibility easier. But there are some cases where you do need to know the full path. You can reference it in your add-on with the package Python attribute. Again, in Blender 4.1, InViewLite in this case would still work. And for add-ons installed in Blender 4.2 as just add-ons and not extensions, this will still work. However, in 4.2, for an add-on extension, InViewLite is not the package name as we found out. And if your add-on preference class is in a subfolder, you can just import the package attribute from the parent module, as I just did in this example. Third step, if your add-on requires a library to be installed in the Python environment, pay attention. If your add-on does a pip install on the user's machine, pay attention, because now you need to bundle those dependencies as Python wheels. If you don't know what Python wheels are, they're just zip files. They're just zip files for Python libraries. Well, it lacks the flexibility of just pip installing the latest library that you want. Packing dependencies ensures stability and allows Blender to keep your libraries safe from other add-ons. To do this, you must download the library you need as a Python wheel from PyPy. Blender uses PyPy's naming scheme to understand the files, which is why I say explicitly PyPy. But if you happen to get your Python wheels from somewhere else, just know to use that same naming scheme. The extension manifest lists the file paths of all the wheels that you want included with your add-on. The file paths should have forward slashes only. It doesn't matter if you're on a Windows machine or not. Make sure the slashes are still forward slashes. When the user installs your extension, Blender will extract these wheels into the Python environment. So now you can just import these libraries in your add-on as you would in any other Python environment. And for future updates, simply download the Python wheels again and update the file names in your manifest. Lastly, build, test, and validate your add-on. Thankfully, Blender has new commands that you can use in the command line to simplify and even automate this. The extension validate command, of course, as we had shown, validates the manifest file. The extension build command will not only validate the manifest, but also build the zip file for you. Note that this will not add a subfolder to your zip file, which is required for non-extension add-ons prior to 4.2. So if you want users to be able to install this add-on extension in Blender 4.1, make sure you have that subfolder by zipping the entire folder manually or by script. Now with your add-on extension built, you can share it. You can even submit it to Blender's official extensions platform. But know that the official extensions platform is not the only one available, because you can build your own. You can create your own repositories and curate your own list of add-ons or themes. The whole point of how repositories are set up is that they can be created or hosted by anyone, not just the Blender Foundation. If you'd like to host a repository online, simply take a folder of zipped extensions and run Blender's new server generate command. This will generate all the necessary files for you. Then you can host this repository folder on your hard drive or in the cloud for other users to connect to. You can self-host or host anywhere. I use GitHub Pages personally as a static website. If you'd like to check it out, even just as a reference, link in the description. In conclusion, I really wish I could have seen everyone at the Blender conference, especially be able to answer questions directly. But I'd rather you not get sick. So, if you're an add-on developer, let me know in the comments if you found this presentation helpful. If you're not an add-on developer and this video just piqued your curiosity, then check out one of my other videos and see if that does the same. And to you all, thank you for watching. Happy Halloween season, happy safe flu season, and happy blending.